Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into a huge challenge that pretty much every big company is facing right now. The big question is, how do you take total content chaos and somehow turn it into a revenue-generating machine? We're going to break down the problem, the solution, and, you guessed it, the incredible financial payoff. Let's get into it. So here's the central paradox for businesses, right? Thanks to AI, making content has literally never been easier or faster. But at the exact same time, earning your audience's trust, it's never been harder. And that gap creates a massive crisis for large organizations just trying to stay relevant and credible. So what's the answer? It's a little something called content governance. Now hold on, this is not about creating a bunch of boring, restrictive rules. Think of it more like a strategic playbook, a framework that takes all that messy, uncontrolled content and turns it into a streamlined, powerful asset that actually makes you money. But before we can really appreciate the solution, we have to face the music and understand the true cost of doing nothing. You see, the chaos of ungoverned content isn't just a minor annoyance. It has a real, measurable, and honestly, pretty painful financial impact.
I absolutely love this quote because it just paints such a clear picture, doesn't it? When you don't have a system, your most expensive, most talented people are stuck doing boring, manual, repetitive work. They're not innovating or creating, they're literally just routing information from point A to point B. It's a total waste of their potential.
So how bad is it really? Well, this number is just staggering, 52,000. That is the average number of copy-paste actions a single employee performs every single year. Now, multiply that across a team of, say, 20 people, and you're looking at over 1 million manual, error-prone tasks. That is the scale of the inefficiency we are talking about.
And here you can see exactly where all that time goes. The average office worker spends a full 60% of their week on manual stuff like document updates and data entry. That is more than half their time spent on low-value work that a good governance system could drastically cut down on, or maybe even automate completely.
So, what's the bottom line? What does this all add up to? According to Gartner, the impact is, well, it's huge. The average annual cost of poor data quality to an organization is a jaw-dropping $12.9 million. This isn't just about wasted time, folks. This is about massive, direct financial loss.
Okay, so if the problem is so obvious and so expensive, why is it so darn hard to fix? Well, the answer often lies in the executive suite, where different leaders are looking at the exact same problem through completely different and often conflicting lenses. And this table right here just breaks it down perfectly. Your CFO sees ungoverned content and thinks cost center, so they're looking to cut budgets. The CMO sees it as a huge brand risk and is pushing for new channels to stay relevant. And then you've got the CTO, who sees a massive security threat, worrying about data breaches from unapproved tools. They're all right, from their own point of view, but they are not on the same page. And the result of that executive misalignment? It's this. The content team gets completely stuck in the middle. They become a reactive service desk, a fast food drive-through, just taking orders from every department, without any real strategic direction or the power to enforce quality. It's an absolute recipe for burnout and totally ineffective work. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's pivot. Let's talk about the solution. How do we build our way out of this? We can bring order to this chaos with a really clear, actionable framework that's built on 5 essential pillars. So here they are. First, you need centralized oversight, so everything can be managed from one single place. Next up, fine-grained permissions, which give you precise control over who can do what. The third pillar is structured content. This is key. It treats your content like flexible Lego bricks instead of rigid pages. Fourth is workflow automation, to finally get rid of all that manual data routing. And last but not least, standardized brand guardrails, to make sure everything is totally consistent. Altogether, these pillars create a seriously powerful system of control.
So let's say you implement this framework. What happens next? This is where it gets really, really exciting. The financial return on a properly governed content strategy isn't just good, it is absolutely transformative.
So let's just compare 2 different approaches here. On the left, you've got a governed strategy. It's strategic, deeply researched, consistent, and super high quality. And on the right, well, that's what most companies do. Basic, random, inconsistent, and pretty average. The difference in that approach leads to a massive, massive difference in the results. And here it is, the financial result of that difference. A governed thought leadership strategy delivers an average ROI of 748%. Now compare that to a measly 16% for basic content marketing, or even 117% for technical SEO alone. I mean, the data's crystal clear. Strategic governance is the absolute key to unlocking massive returns.
Let's just let that number sit there for a second. 748%. No, that's not a typo. This kind of return happens because governed content is targeted, authoritative, and trustworthy. It answers your customers' specific questions better, so it ranks higher, it builds more authority, and it converts readers into customers way more effectively. It literally turns content from a cost center into one of your most profitable investments.
And this model isn't just some general average either. It proves itself across a whole range of really complex industries. For real estate, the ROI is almost 1,400%. For medical devices, where things like compliance and accuracy are absolutely critical, it's nearly 1,200%. This just proves that the framework delivers incredible, tangible value even in the most highly regulated fields.
Now, putting this framework into place isn't just about fixing today's problems, it's really about setting your organization up to win in the future, especially as the same AI that contributes to all this content chaos continues to change, well, everything. You see, the next frontier is something called generative engine optimization, or GEO. This is all about making sure that AI tools like ChatGPT are recommending your business, not your competitors. And guess what? The key to winning at GEO is having highly structured, authoritative, and governed content that AI engines can actually trust.
So how do you use AI without losing your soul in the process? The answer is the 70-30 hybrid model. You let AI do about 70% of the heavy lifting, the research, the outlines, the basic SEO. But that crucial 30%, that's reserved for your human experts to add the strategy, the storytelling, and that all-important final approval. Because here's the thing that AI just can't do. It has no real-world experience. It doesn't have a strong, unique point of view. It can't generate your company's own proprietary data. And it definitely can't create true emotional resonance. Those are the things your experts bring to the table. And they are what build trust and make you stand out. So ultimately, modern content strategy is not about replacing humans with AI. Not at all. It's about using AI to superpower your human experts. The goal, always, is to keep humans in the loop, making the final strategic decisions, not taking them out of it.
And that brings us right to our final question, something for you to think about. Looking at your own organization, is your content a powerful, strategic asset that's driving revenue and building trust? Or is it a hidden liability, costing you money, wasting time, and putting your brand at risk? The choice and the framework to fix it is all yours. Thanks for tuning in.